The Tata Sierra. Alright, I've already made a video on the electric version, which came out this year, but not too many people know about how it started. So that's what we're going to talk about today, from 1991 till now. So let's jump right in. By the way, sorry if I sound a little different. My throat's kind of cooked, but it's mostly better. Before the Tata Sierra came out, Tata Motors was mainly known for making trucks, more trucks, the Tata Mobile. Okay, not this mobile, I mean this mobile. So yeah, they weren't really into passenger cars. But that would finally change because in 1991, they released the Sierra, which was India's first SUV. So since at the time there was basically no competition for this SUV, you might think it did pretty good, right? Well, statistically, it didn't really do too good. Else, otherwise, it did great. People loved the thing. Of course, the controls were a little too heavy. Like the steering was very heavy. That's just what my research says. I've never seen one in person. Yeah, otherwise, it was pretty good. And basically, Sierra had a lot of plus points back when it came out. First off, it had air conditioning, which you didn't really see all that often back in the day. At least here in India, I don't know about your US, Canada, wherever. It had comfy seats. The visibility was great, obviously. It had the iconic glass roof. And it was just a good car to drive. Well, it also had a lot of disadvantages. Those being heavy steering, its large size, actually it's not really too big, but back then people thought it was massive. And also another thing people really found annoying was the reliability. It was really not that reliable. Like all Tatas back in the day weren't really that reliable. Fun fact, back then Tata Motors was known as Telco. Telco basically stands for Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company. Either way, back then, it was a status symbol. Back then, if you owned a Sierra, that meant you made it. You made it to the top percent of people in the country, and yeah, you got a hell lot of cash, cause that was expensive for people. I don't know if it's expensive today. Probably depreciated. I'll check after once I'm done filming. By the way, back then, if you bought a Sierra, you could only get it as a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder diesel engine. It reached a top speed of 125 kilometers an hour, which roughly translates to this many miles an hour. Power was pretty mediocre. The most it could make was only 68 horsepower and 118 newton meters of torque. By the way, if we talk about transmission, because I don't think I've talked about that yet, it came with a 5-speed manual. So in 1997, Tata Motors decided to spice things up a little with the turbocharged engine. So what Tata Motors did with the engine was they kept the original engine and just slapped a big old turbocharger on it. Power was still mediocre. It only made up to 91 horsepower and 186 newton meters of torque, which is really not much by today's standards. Maybe back then it was a lot, at least in this country. Although by that time there was a lot of competition now, so sales did kind of plummet. For comparison, at that time it was rivaling the Suzuki Gypsy, which in America was sold as the Suzuki Samurai, which in the rest of the world was sold as the Suzuki Jimny. It also had to go against the Mahindra Armada or the Mahindra Classic. It depends on you, whatever you want to call it. And it also had to go against our very own Tata Sumo. And well, You really don't want to mess with a Jimny. Because to be honest, I've seen many of them. Although still, this scene never gets old, man.
Are you a Hawaii scumbag? Do you chug energy drinks in Arizona? Suzuki Samurai. Ninja name? Garbage Cat.
They also sold an intercooled version of the same engine, by the way. The same turbocharged engine. Alright, so Tata Motors has just entered the new millennium, the 2000s. Competition is high. The Sierra is plummeting. People don't want a 3-door car anymore. They want a 5-door because it's harder to get the second door if you only have 2 doors in the front. Either put 5 doors or just put jump seats in the back. Although jump seats were pretty uncomfortable for people back then. Also, if you're old, I'm pretty sure it's very uncomfortable and very hard to get into. So yeah, the car was just losing its appeal. And by 2003, they killed it. Alright, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next week. Till then, bye. Well, you really thought I was gone? There's more to this story, man. There's more. After the Sierra left the market, the enthusiasts missed it a lot. And well, what does a good company do? Obviously, they listen to the fans. And so in 2020, the big news. They're bringing the Sierra back, baby. Bro, it was so hype, man. They already made the concept car version. This is what that looked like. And I really couldn't wait for that to come out. Personally, I used to search up videos for this car. And by all means, by last year, they brought it back. Finally, into production, the ICE engine version. And that doesn't stop there because this year, and I made a video on this, this year they brought the electric version. Anyway, so that was it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Be sure to comment on this video. Let me know what you think. If you're not subbed to the channel already, be sure to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Also, if you didn't, just leave your suggestions. I'll read them. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Till then, bye. So anyway, sign out. Peace.